Right, hello, we get back. Excuse me while I get comfy. Seems to be a static thing, or a common thing. So this is, what are we on, episode 3? Let me check. No, episode 4. So episode 4 of part 2. Stage 2, phase 2, whatever you want to call it. So, if you're following along, you'll see I have taken the liberty of saving you getting bored crapless and watching me type everything out. So pretty much pre-populated everything. We set the calls in the previous function and the video. So we write live data, we set the variables, and somewhere in here we are now getting the data packet by calling the calculate final minute data, which is this one here. So the only thing that we've got left to do are these three, which calculate the averages. The rest of them are simply just copying what we've recorded throughout. But we do need to calculate the bid average. Okay, so move that up there for a second. So what we need to do, so we've already set them to none. So so we're looking for the length. So if the length of self.bid window is greater than 2, no, we need at least 2 values really. Guess you could do it at 1, but it is what it is. The bid average will equal the sum of self.bid window divided by the length of self.bid window. And our data packet, and we called it metrics, I believe it was. Metrics, I think it was bid average. Metrics bid average will equal the bid average. Nothing fancy about that. And then it's just the same for the ask. So if len of self.ask window is greater than 2, then the ask average is going to equal the sum of the self.ask window type divided by the length of self.ask window, and then the data packet metrics ask average will equal our ask average. Again, nothing overly fancy about that. And if length of the spread self.spread window is greater than 2, we'll have the spread average equal the sum of the self.spread average, or spread window, sorry, divided by the length of the self.spread window, and the data packet and metrics and the spread average would equal our spread average. Just like so. Okay, now we're going to do a round on these to 5 decimal places. Should have done that first, but never mind. And that'll just make the sums a little bit easier to understand later on. So hopefully that's correct. Been a while since I've used a round, but that's just how many decimal places. So if I went 6, we would have what? Something like that, as opposed to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So in Euro USD, that will be the pip, the one that I'm badly changing. So the 3 to 2 there would be the one that I change. Bit of a bad example. Never mind, you get the point. So we're going to round them down, round, 5, 5, and put that back to 5. And then once we've done that, if obviously if they're not, we've already set them to none, so they'll go in as none, and then we're just going to evaluate. If they're not none, then work out the difference. Okay, so here we just want to return the data packet. Okay, and that should work pretty much it. Now we definitely did, yep, we're resetting there. Make sure we did that. So what I'm going to do is create another put all these old files, they'll be slightly different. And there we go. So cut them out, plonk them in here. And there we go, get rid of them out of our life. And we should now have nothing in the data exchange and nothing in there. Okay, so we'll just save everything up. Let's just our data changer. So we'll get rid of that. But we'll leave it for now. We'll just clear that out in case we need it. So data stream template. So over here, let me bear with me. So data stream template. So there we go. So we'll let that run. Definitely recording. And we should see something eventually pop up here. Again, we've already got the, as you can see, we've got the date directory there. So we should just get a current number, which 20 past 6. We should get all the way up 18. So we're actually 1817. So we should start here. 1099. It should be our first window or file. And we'll wait for it to turn up and then we'll run this. We'll just give this a few minutes to make sure that all the data comes through correctly and that each minute resets. So we'll do a couple of minutes and that'll be the end of that. And then we'll get back to this bit. Okay, so what we're going to do here while we wait is, given our metrics, if I can find them again, up here somewhere. If we just create a secondary set of those, copy them, put them in here for a second. So there we go. One, two, oh, we got 13. We can see that. So yeah, I think if we just keep the previous copy of them, and then that'll make reading in and comparisons easier. So we should have the data and data lock. And for whatever reason, nothing appears to be populating. We are calling that. What are we doing wrong? Because we calculate the final minute data, So we're doing that. Check if time to process. Update current metrics. We're not calling that one. So that should be empty as well. Right, okay. Simple enough. So we haven't actually called to update the metrics yet. So before we send off those, we want to call this function here, update the current metrics, and we want the bid price and ask price. Okay, because we'll check if it's time to process, and we would have processed them, and then we want to come back here. So self dot update current metrics, and bid price will equal bid price, and ask price will equal the ask price. So there you go. We forgot to add them in. I'll just restart this externally. So I'm just running this in the terminal so we can run both at once. You can't see that running because I'm only recording the Visual Studio Code, but I'm just opening up a console and running a Python script from there. So we'll see how that goes this time, and hopefully we'll get some metrics just as well checked, and that'll finish this video off quite nicely before we get back on. But that should be the end of the stream for now, as in the data stream, not the video stream. But back to the idea for a second. So if we create these as, well, essentially what we've got there, isn't it? Bid average, spread average, bid high. So it's essentially these again. Okay, right back to the top. So it's those here. Yeah. And then we use so they would just be the averages. So if we actually take those and plonk up here, so we're going to need the 3 self.bid average, none, self.ask average would be none, and the self.spread average would be none. We've got a bucket, so we'll check that in a minute, and we're going to want these as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Believe that to be right. We'll stick them in here just to triple check. So that should be 26, which it is. Okay, so that kind of makes things a little bit simpler. Change that to there for now. So that's what we'll be comparing against. And we'll set all these to none as well. Just so we're always at a start point of equality. Okay, so that's all of them. And then what we'll do is we'll read in the file if they're none. We'll just add them up, or just assign them, should we say. And then when we read the next one in, we'll use those as a reference, and the next set of data is plus or minus in comparison to this data. So everything will be new data compared to old. So we're not deciphering higher first, not picking higher first. Okay, so that will give us a positive or negative outcome. And then what I may do is develop some kind of strength index, minute to minute, what are the differences. So we'll see. We'll just get the basic stuff out first, and then we'll see. I want to see if we can create a strength index, basically. So anyway, before we can worry about that, we need to have data, and here we go. So spread high and spread low. So 63, 16, 63, 16. That doesn't seem right. Make sure we've got all of those, because those seem a bit too consistently near. Although given this time of day we could just be in a flat minute. So we've got these which are odd long numbers. So spread high and spread low. So we come back to here where we're calculating the spread, somewhere down here. So spread price equals, so if we round that as well to 5 decimal places, and then we're going here, so we can see we've got an ask high and a bid high. So it's bid lower and ask lower previous we want to look at. Greater than. Low bid, low bid. Ask price is less than self.low ask, self.low ask equals ask price. High spread, low spread. Here we go, self.bid tick higher. So, oh, there we go. So we're actually getting differences now, which was what I was a bit worried about. Bid and ask previous were consistent. Bid lower and ask lower. Ask lower and bid lower. So you can see there it's like double. So it's definitely moving to the ask high. So it's definitely moving down, as it were, and the spread's gone up a bit. Okay, so spread high and spread low. We should be now handling with our rounding. Spread price, so we're adding that, and just make sure the spread itself, so we're rounding it already up here, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay, so that's seemingly working as intended now, and those will be shortened down to 5. Okay, so we've got the averages. Spread average is minute, which you'd expect. Bid high, bid low. You've seen the right way around. Ask high and ask low. No, you don't seem too far off within a minute. It's moving about a tick either way, isn't it? That's exactly 1 tick between the two, and that's just under. So yeah, not too bad. There we go. So if the bid higher is only 3 times and the bid lower is 30, that would mean the bid is going down, and the ask higher was 7 and the ask lower is 26, so the ask is coming down. That would mean you can visibly see through the numbers that it's doing that. So if you had a run of these, you would know you're heading for that way. It's the reverse of what you see, always backwards. Anyway, what are we on? 19 minutes, so that finishes that off nicely. So we're going to let that run. Well, we're going to stop it in actual fact and start it up again. And now I am just going to remove these just to save confusion. he says. And those two. And just make sure that round comes through. I've started up again. Make sure the spread comes through nicely. If it does, we'll call this one done and crack on in the next video and get the data collection template and these all sorted out. We've read in the new data, so we'll just pass that off and process it and produce our output file. So bear with us while this one just comes through. We'll only have one file, so once the first one comes through, I'll call it done. Save holding you up. And see if we can get this data collector finished today. Here we go, look at that, 1111. So there you go, so we got some spread average and spread high and spread low. So one pipette went up. But anyway, that kind of, as you can see, went up the way. So yes, overall, we're doing okay. So I'll call it done there. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, do all the good stuff. Helps out where you can. You do your bit, and I'll try and do mine. Until the next video, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.